my gosh, look. It's homeless bees everywhere. So these bees are returning from the field. They've got pollen, nectar, and their home is gone. So they're just clustering up here trying to figure out what's going on. Some are fanning, trying to orient. And there's probably 300-400 bees in the air flying around here right now. So I'm gonna grab this small nuke over here that had a little bitty swarm move into it. And if you want some more information on that little swarm and how it showed up, and it was queenless and I raised a queen in it, there's a couple videos about that. I'm just going to move it over here on its own bottom board, get rid of all of this, and these bees will go into that and boost the population of that little swarm up. It'll make it strong to get through the winter. And I'm going to make it a double deep 5-frame. So that should work if we don't have a super cold winter. If it does get really cold, I could put some insulation on it. But as long as they've got honey and stores to get by, they should be fine. And I think this is a lot more effective way of dealing with this big hive that was here that's queenless and went laying worker, because there is just not enough time in the year to sort that out. So I think the way I did this was probably the fastest way to take care of that. It takes care of the comb. It gives those bees a home with the queen. And this little swarm that probably wouldn't have made it through the winter is now going to have all of these bees to boost it up, and it's going to do well. So I knew that little swarm might come in handy. So always keep a little box of bees on the side to do whatever you need to do with it. So anyway, and when I started this, I had a totally different plan. But when I saw all these bees here, I'm like, oh, I could use those and do this. So you got to go with the flow. So I'm going to move that over here, and I'm going to lose all the field bees from that tiny swarm, but they're only 3 frames. So it's not going to be near this many bees that I'm going to lose from over there. And they'll find a place to go. So with that, let's get started. So you can see there ain't a lot of weight to it because I just grabbed the whole thing. So look here what's happened already. Those bees are moving in fast. So bees orient to a location. They're like, this is where my home was, so this must be it. I don't think they will attack that queen. These are field bees. They're not worried about that. So we'll see how it goes. So that top box is just a feeder. So I'm going to have to put some frames up there now. I got to go get some frames and fill that out, and I might put a third one on top to feed it on top of all that. So anyway, I'm going to take care of that and get back with you shortly. These bees are actually fanning, signaling this is the spot. Come in here. Look at them going. So that's going to overcrowd this box, possibly. Okay, so here's the location where the tiny swarm came from. And you can see bees are returning. That box is empty. That was just there on the bottom. So they're like, hey, where's my house? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set another little nuke box up here with one frame of comb so that I have a place to go. I'll catch them, and tomorrow, or maybe this evening when they're all in there, I'll go put them over there in that other box. So I won't lose all these bees either. So there, that's going to take care of them. I needed a frame with some comb on it. I don't have one handy, but so that empty one, they'll gather around on it, make a little cluster. All right, back over to the other spot. Okay, everything is a lot more calm around this hive now. All those ones hanging around the outside looking for their home have moved in, and the ones that come in from the field are hovering around a little bit, but they fly on in. So everything appears to be normal out front. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting the second story and adding the frames to this so they can be ready to build up for winter. Make sure the queen wasn't on there. So I'm going to go ahead and expand this on up to 5. This one here's blank, so I'm going to put the other blank one on this end. So I could pull one of these boxes that has brood on it up into this top level, and they would fill out that top level. That'll help draw them up faster, but it may spread them too thin. So coming into winter, if they don't have this top box drawn out, I'll just take it off, because that's too much space for them to have to warm with their body heat. So I'm going to add the second deep on here and put 5 empty frames. So if they can draw this out up here and make that their honey stores for winter, they shouldn't have any problem surviving. If they don't draw it out, I'll take it off and I'll put a block of sugar on here for them to get through the winter. But like I said, we're fixing to come into the goldenrod bloom, which is a lot of nectar, and with all these bees that came back from that other hive to boost their numbers, plus this queen laying in here, I'm hoping they'll fill up this second deep. So. I could have swore I brought 6 frames down here. I don't know where they went. So there you have it. Got the tiny swarm relocated. Field bees from the original hive are coming in here and populating it. And I'm catching the field bees from the tiny swarm over here. I'll give you a quick look at that. So here they are. They're coming in with a bunch of yellow pollen. So I'm guessing that's goldenrod. I'll pop the lid on there and give you a quick look so you can see how many bees we're talking about. The exposure here. So I went and I pulled a frame out of this hive right here from the laying workers, and put it in here so they'd have comb, because they weren't lighting on that empty frame. So you see they're working around there, see the yellow pollen on them. So they're just wandering around trying to figure out what to do right now, or eating honey like these guys here. Anyway, that's what's going on with them. Some of them are dropping pollen. I see pollen in there. Kind of see down in there how many bees we're talking about. There's probably a couple hundred bees in there. Not a big loss to lose them, but if I did, it's not a big deal, but I'd like to try and catch them if I can. So that concludes this video. Hope you liked it. If you did, hit like and subscribe to my channel, and leave any comments down below, and I'll get back to you when I can. Thanks.